This simple food, a product of time and pressure, can be a teacher of profound wisdom or a source of deep imbalance. It is a mirror reflecting the quality of our choices and the state of our inner world. We must learn to see beyond the rind. Most people will only taste the salt and the fat. They will miss the final lesson on inner alchemy and risk a life that is physically sustained but spiritually hollow, the most tragic mistake of all. Artificial ease. We begin with the most pervasive and deceptive of all forms. It is the cheese that comes wrapped in individual sheets of thin plastic, a perfect square of uniform color and texture. It is the cheese of ultimate convenience, the cheese of a hurried world. To consume this is the first great error, for it is an act of consuming an illusion. This substance is not truly cheese, in the way that a living tree is not a plastic replica. It is a construction, an assembly of processed components engineered to melt smoothly and taste predictably. It has been stripped of its history, its character, its soul. It is a ghost. It offers the sensation of cheesy flavor, but it is a hollow echo. The body receives calories, but the spirit receives nothing of substance. It is a choice that honors speed over integrity. This choice is a reflection of a certain state of mind, one that has become all too common. It is the mind that seeks the path of least resistance in all things. It desires a life that is prepackaged, predictable, and free from any challenge or complexity. We seek friendships that are easy, knowledge that is simplified into bullet points, and experiences that are sanitized for our comfort. In choosing this processed cheese, we are practicing for a life of superficiality. We are training our minds to accept the facade over the reality. For a body in its senior years, a body that has earned the right to authentic, deep nourishment, offering it this artificial substance is a profound misstep. It is like showing it a photograph of a mountain and calling it a journey. It lacks the truth, the texture, and the transformative power of that which is real. It is choosing a life of artificial ease over one of authentic substance. Now let us turn to its profound opposite. The first cheese we must eat daily is one that embodies patience, integrity, and the wisdom of time itself. This is the hard, aged cheese. Think of a Parmigiano Reggiano, an aged Gruyere, or a sharp, crumbly cheddar. This cheese is not made in a day. It is the result of a long, slow, and patient process. It begins with good milk, which is then transformed and placed in a quiet, dark place to rest, sometimes for years. During this time, it is not idle. It is undergoing a deep and slow alchemy. Moisture evaporates, flavors concentrate, and complex crystalline structures form within. It becomes dense, rich, and intensely flavorful. It is the very essence of the milk, concentrated and refined by the unhurried hand of time. It is a food of profound integrity. To eat this cheese is to honor the virtue of patience. It is a physical act that reinforces a deep spiritual truth, that the most valuable things in life cannot be rushed. Wisdom, character, and true strength are not created instantly. They are the result of a long, slow process of maturation. They are the reward for enduring pressure and for allowing time to do its transformative work. For a person over 60, this is a lesson that life itself has taught. To see it embodied in a piece of cheese is a beautiful and grounding affirmation. This cheese demands respect. You do not swallow it whole, you savor a small piece. Its flavor is so concentrated that a little goes a long way, teaching us the value of moderation and appreciation. It nourishes the body with its rich calcium and protein, and it nourishes the soul with its powerful story of time, patience, and the beauty of a thing well made. It is the cheese of a life that has been fully lived and fully savored. Sensory numbing. The second cheese we must never touch is one that assaults the senses rather than engages them. This is the cheese that has been blended with artificial flavors, excessive sugars, and other loud, aggressive ingredients. Consider the tubs of dessert-flavored cream cheese, the logs of cheese food rolled in artificial bacon bits, or the spreads that taste more of chemical smoke than of dairy. The error here is the worship of intense, overpowering sensation. It is the belief that more is better, more sweetness, more saltiness, more artificial flavor. This approach is a form of violence against the palate. It numbs our ability to perceive subtlety. After eating such a thing, the gentle, honest flavor of a simple, well-made cheese is lost to us. We become deaf to the whispers of true nourishment because our senses have been conditioned to respond only to shouting. This choice reflects a mind that is caught in a state of agitation, a mind that constantly seeks distraction and stimulation from the outside world. It is a form of addiction. We seek ever higher peaks of sensation to feel something, anything, to distract us from a sense of inner emptiness or unease. This path leads not to contentment, but to a perpetual state of craving and dissatisfaction. The fleeting pleasure of the intense flavor is quickly followed by a crash, leaving us wanting more. It is a cycle of imbalance that depletes our vital energy. For the senior whose journey is one of cultivating peace and inner harmony, this path of sensory addiction is a profound detour. It is choosing the temporary thrill over enduring contentment. It is feeding the restless monkey mind while starving the quiet, centered self. It is a form of self-medication that ultimately worsens the condition it seeks to soothe. The antidote to this sensory numbing is not found in more complexity, but in its profound opposite. The second cheese we must eat is one of pure, honest simplicity. This is the fresh, soft cheese. Think of a simple goat cheese, a fresh ricotta, or a soft mozzarella. This cheese is the opposite of aged and complex. It is young, it is mild, it is humble. Its beauty lies in its purity and its direct connection to its source. It has not been manipulated or disguised. Its flavor is a clean, clear expression of the milk from which it was made. It is a gentle food, soft and yielding. It does not shout for your attention. It invites a quiet appreciation. It cleanses the palate. It reminds us of the beauty of that which is simple, unadorned, and true. To eat this cheese is to practice the art of returning to the essential. It is a meditation on purity and clarity. In a world that constantly bombards us with complexity and noise, the choice for simplicity is a radical act of self-care. It is a way of clearing the mind and calming the senses. It teaches us to find joy not in the intensity of a sensation, but in its quality. It cultivates a beginner's mind, a state of openness and appreciation for the subtle wonders of the present moment. For a person of advancing years, this practice is invaluable. It is a way of unburdening the self from a lifetime of accumulated complexities and returning to a state of simple, peaceful presence. This fresh cheese nourishes the body with its gentle proteins and is easy to digest, but its deeper nourishment is for the spirit. It teaches us that true contentment is not found in adding more, but in appreciating the profound beauty of what is already here in its simplest form. Fearful imitation. The third cheese that has no place on a plate of wisdom is the one born of fear. This is the fat-free or low-fat cheese. On the surface, it presents itself as a virtuous choice, a healthier alternative. But we must look deeper into the intention behind its creation. This cheese exists because of a fear of a natural, essential component, fat. In an attempt to escape this perceived enemy, the very soul of the cheese is removed. What is left is a rubbery, tasteless imitation. It does not melt properly. It does not satisfy. It is a hollow caricature of the real thing. To create it, manufacturers must often add back other things, fillers, gums, artificial flavorings, to try and mimic the texture and taste that were lost. It is an act of profound self-deception. We eat the imitation and pretend we are eating the real thing, but the body knows the difference. This choice is a manifestation of a life governed by fear and denial. It is the mindset that believes we can become whole by rejecting parts of ourselves. We fear our own anger, our own sadness, our own desires, and so we try to cut these parts out of ourselves to deny their existence. But just like the fat in cheese, these parts are essential to our wholeness. To deny them is to create an imitation of a human being, a person who is not integrated, not authentic. This fear-based approach to eating is a practice for a fear-based approach to living. It weakens our ability to trust nature and to trust our own bodies. For a senior who has the opportunity to live from a place of wisdom and self-acceptance, to choose a food born of fear is to regress. It is to deny the lessons of a lifetime, which teach us that true health comes not from avoiding life, but from embracing it in its totality, with intelligence and balance. To find true strength and wholeness, we must not run from complexity or perceived imperfection, but learn to embrace and integrate it. This brings us to the third cheese we must eat. It is a cheese that, to the uninitiated eye, may look like it is spoiled. This is the living blue vein cheese. Think of a Roquefort, a Gorgonzola, or a Stilton. These cheeses are intentionally inoculated with a culture of harmless mold, which grows into the blue or green veins that give the cheese its name and its character. This is not decay, it is a controlled living process of transformation. The mold is a collaborator. It breaks down the fats and proteins in the cheese, creating a creamy texture and a deep, complex, and pungent flavor that is unlike any other. It is an act of pure alchemy, transforming a simple curd into something extraordinary. To eat this cheese is a profound practice of acceptance and transformation. It is to look at something that society might label imperfect or tainted, and to see in it a source of profound beauty and strength. It teaches us to not be afraid of the mold in our own lives, the difficult experiences, the challenging emotions, the parts of ourselves we might be tempted to reject. It shows us that these very things, when integrated with awareness and intention, can be the source of our deepest character, our most complex wisdom, and our greatest strength. It is a food that requires courage to eat, and it rewards that courage with an unparalleled depth of experience. For a person over 60, this cheese is a powerful teacher. It is a reminder that the most challenging parts of our life's journey are often the very things that make us who we are. It is the cheese of radical self-acceptance and of the beautiful, transformative power that lies hidden in life's imperfections. Mindless convenience, the final cheese we should never touch, is not defined by its ingredients, but by its form and the state of mind it encourages. This is the pre-shredded cheese that comes in a plastic bag. The error is not the shredding itself, but the reason for its existence, the avoidance of a simple, mindful act. To save 30 seconds of grating, we choose a product that is fundamentally inferior. To prevent the shreds from clumping into a solid mass, manufacturers coat them with powders like cellulose, wood pulp, or potato starch. This coating not only dilutes the flavor, but it also prevents the cheese from melting into a smooth, cohesive whole. It creates a grainy, separated texture. We have traded quality and integrity for a fleeting moment of convenience. This is a poor bargain. This choice is a symptom of a life lived in a hurry, a life where presence is sacrificed at the altar of efficiency. The small, mindful ritual of grating a block of cheese is an opportunity for presence. It is a moment to connect with your food, to feel its texture, to smell its aroma. To bypass this moment is to practice being absent from your own life. It is to train the mind to always look for the shortcut, to always be thinking about the next thing instead of being fully engaged in the current one. This habit of mindless convenience, practiced in small ways, grows to infect our entire existence. We pre-shred our relationships with quick text messages instead of deep conversations. We pre-shred our learning with summaries instead of reading the book. For the senior whose gift is time and the potential for deep presence, to fall into the trap of mindless convenience is to squander that precious gift. It is to choose a fragmented, disconnected experience over a rich, integrated, and present one. The final cheese we must eat daily is the ultimate antidote to this disconnection. It is not merely a type of cheese, but a cheese with a story and a relationship. This is the locally made artisan cheese. This is the cheese you buy from a person at a farmer's market or from a local shop that knows the cheesemaker. This cheese has a name, a place, and a story. It is not an anonymous product from a vast, faceless factory. It is the result of a specific person's skill, passion, and care, made with milk from specific animals grazing on specific land. To buy this cheese is to participate in a relationship. You can speak to the person who sells it, you can learn about its origin, you can understand the process that brought it into being. It is a cheese that is alive with connection. To eat this cheese is to practice gratitude and community. It is to honor the human hand and the local land. It connects you to your own environment, to the seasons, and to the people who are your neighbors. This act of conscious purchasing sends a ripple of support through your local community, strengthening the bonds that hold us together. When you eat this cheese, you are not just a consumer, you are a participant in a cycle of mutual support. This is the deepest form of nourishment. It nourishes the body with a product of high quality and integrity, and it nourishes the soul with a profound sense of belonging and connection. For a person of any age, but especially for one in their later years, cultivating these connections is the key to a vibrant and meaningful life. It is the understanding that we are not isolated individuals, but part of a vast, interconnected web. This cheese is a delicious reminder of that truth. It is the bread of life shared. The cheese on your plate is a mirror reflecting a choice. Is it a choice for illusion, for sensory addiction, for fear, for mindless convenience? Or is it a choice for integrity, for simplicity, for radical acceptance, for deep connection? This is never just about food. It is about the kind of life you are choosing to cultivate, the kind of person you are choosing to be. With every bite, you are building your inner world. Choose to build a world of substance, peace, courage, and connection. Be honest, which of these reflections made you pause and see your own daily choices in a new light?